And thank you for the Irish music there, Nolan. And we'll go 5, 4, 3. And we're back. We're back on the... Boy, do I hate... My mother used to hate when I did the brogue.
Yeah, and you hate it when I do too.
I do.
Hi, Katie Hogan. It's great to see you another day here at the Heartland Cafe.
Yeah, and...
Thought we was out of here.
Do you know the response to the top of the morning to you?
No, what is this?
The balance of the day to you.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
I like that.
So
and
there you
that
go.
One, may the sun shine through the rain on your back, or what is
Oh, geez, Michael.
Come on, you gave me a
May the
calendar once, a cloth
shine
calendar with all that Irish
daily
stuff.
on your fields.
I did go to Ireland with...
Good. Yeah.
And I went to Katie's ancestral homeland and met some of her relatives and had a nip in the afternoon. It was great.
Sure, that's great.
Do they know about you?
Do they know about me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're close.
They
The
know.
ancestors?
They do. They
Well,
do
good
indeed.
morning, Kristin Lems.
Kristin Lems. Yay! A hero, a shero of mine for many, many years. Let's hear it for
Takes one
Kristin
to know
Lems.
one.
Really, because everybody knows you are a huge shero.
Hey.
I think you have a plan for the way you'd like to start on this particular segment.
My hero, Pete Seeger, moved to the next level about 2 months ago, and since so many of us from the folk revival really started singing because we heard the songs of Pete Seeger, he was very, very important. He was a very important star in my firmament. So I've had 3 opportunities already to talk about Pete Seeger. We organized a sort of tribute at the People's Church 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, with a whole bunch of folk singers. We gave all the money to Don't Frack Illinois. We raised $250 for Don't Frack Illinois. And we sang songs that Pete had either written or sung. And I just want to keep that going.
Yes,
So
yes.
I have several songs that I'd like to share of his, but first, with your permission, I do want to do a sort of St. Paddy's Day Irish-influenced original song about women's wages. So may I
That's a
start with
pertinent
that?
issue
You go, girl.
in the past, today, and into the future.
Yeah, well, we haven't quite solved that one yet, I guess. But I wrote this song about 10 years ago. It is recorded on one of my albums. I can't remember which one. I think it's on Upbeat. And it's called The Living Wage. It's kind of, I wrote it at the time Chicago was considering the living wage ordinance. This is a topical issue right now about raising the minimum wage nationwide. You can kind of take a litmus test of candidates by asking them about that, I'd say.
True enough.
So anyway, it's called The Living Wage. Some of the language is a little out of date, but you'll get the point. The end of each verse repeats the final line, and the throngs out here can join me on that final line.
All right.
Oh, I'm a working woman and a single mother too. I got a full-time job, it seemed the only thing to do. Now I work 5 days, it's a 40-hour week. And here's my life, come close and take a peek. And here's my life, come close and take a peek. That's the part you repeat. It's $1,200 a month before the SSI and tax. The take-home pay is $900 and a half, and the rent takes half of that, leaving $475, with $100 for the groceries to keep us all alive. $100 for the groceries to keep us all alive. From the $375, take out $50 for the heat, and $50 for the lights and phone utilities complete. From the $275, take my public transport pass to get me to and from this job for which I bust my ass. To get me to and from this job for which I bust my ass. But I haven't finished yet. No, my babies are so young. That one is not in school yet. He has not yet begun. So I pay $200 to a mom who lives near me, so she can spend 10 hours a day with him instead of me. So she can spend 10 hours a day with him instead of me. And add to that the clothing bill, the cleaning bill, the shoes, co-payments, prescriptions, birthday gifts, and brownie dues. And take all of that from the sum of 75. And your guess is as good as mine, just how we stay alive. And your guess is as good as mine, just how we stay alive. But the system is so thoughtful and the bankers are so kind. They've given me a credit card for when I fall behind. Now I make my monthly payments, merely 39 to go. Just looking at this nightmare makes me want to stay at home. Just looking at this nightmare makes me want to stay at home. Oh, they're trying to get welfare mothers into full-time jobs. If we aren't thrilled to leave our kids, they call us lazy slobs. Offer minimum wage, no benefits, and no child care naturally. So more can join the weary ranks of working poor like me. So more can join the weary ranks of working poor like me. Oh, I'd like to take each three-piece suited pal who talks that way and let him try to take a walk in my shoes for a day. He'd be screaming and crying and begging and irate to raise the living wage now before it is too late. To raise the living wage now before it is too late. For I'm a working woman and a single mother too. I left my full-time job, it seemed the only thing to do. And until that happy day that the minimum wage is raised, I'll do a job, stay with my kids, and home is where I'll stay. This rich land can afford it, we have got to find a way. We've got to raise the living wage. We've got to find a way. Thank you. Thank you so much. What a lively crowd for this hour. And those of you out in Radio Land, good morning.
Let's hear it. Let's hear how lively we are. Hey, the top of the morning to you. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Well,
Let's
Kristin?
Let's talk to Kristin a little bit about you hung out with and sang with Pete Seeger, which is
Yeah.
one of the things. I think in your own right you are Chicago's Pete Seeger.
Thank you. I hope there are many of us all over the world
Yeah.
being Pete Seeger.
Exactly. And I mean the power of song in moments of in all moments of life, but particularly when you are struggling to get through. I just lifts
Yeah.
the spirit. It's like
It
church for some.
It is, and Pete believed in sing-alongs. He was a servant leader in the sense that he got us started and then he pulled back.
Yeah.
And he let us hear our own voices. And that was always Pete's way of doing things. It wasn't only when he was in his 90s and lost his voice. It
Right.
was long before that. He'd get it started, he'd give us a key, and he'd sort of shout out some of the lyrics, and then he'd pull back, and then the crowd would take over. And that's how so many of us learned these songs.
That's
it was
right.
just by singing live with Pete.
Well, Kristin, when did you first learn of Pete Seeger,
And-
and when did you first meet him? Tell us
There's
those stories.
No, they're beautiful stories. I still have the program from my my hearing Pete Seeger at Orchestra Hall, 1964. I didn't get a signed program, but it was so important to me as a kid that I saved the program, and I've still got it in a sheet protector.
That's
it was
great.
shortly after, the banning of Pete had sort of started to wane because of McCarthyism and so on. As you know, Pete was a great hero, standing up to the McCarthy era and refusing to testify at the House Un-American Activities Committee. Just a hero in every way, just calmly centered on the beauty of America's Bill of Rights. So I heard him at Orchestra Hall. It meant a lot to me. He was singing songs like Little Boxes at that time, and a lot of traditional folk songs too. Always loved to mine the folk tradition in the United States. And I think I didn't actually meet him till the 80s. I have been very active in two groups that Pete was also active in. One is called Songs of Freedom and Struggle People's Music Network, which we then nicknamed Sassafras. And
Nice.
they're
Sure, why not?
SFS. It had
Sassafras.
no vowels, so they had to Sassafras. And Pete would come to that every single year. He would come to the New York area to this gathering of rabble-rousing folk musicians, and he would just push a broom and sit in the round robin. No special consideration was given because he was Pete, and that's how he wanted it.
Yeah.
And he helped all of us expand our repertoire and our bass and everything else. And he was kind of famous for being the guy you'd see at the end of the night after we'd all been in the mess hall and had our, bust our
Coffee cups.
the cups and all that. Then
Hot
you'd
chocolate
see-
cocoa late at night.
Yes, our cocoa. You'd see over in a corner there was some guy pushing a broom, and it was Pete.
Wow.
So the other group that I am still a member of, and Pete was a member of, is the Children's Music Network, which was kind of a spin-off from Sassafras. It was people who were really interested in affirming multicultural music for children, who perform for children and record for children.
Which
So
reminds
that
us.
group, yeah, is a
Reminds
beautiful.
us of Ella Jenkins, who was on this
Yes.
stage not a year ago.
I think did you perform with Pete and Ella at the People's
Yes.
Church in the late,
Yes.
sometime in the early 90s or
Yeah,
sometime
that's
in
right.
the
I think it
Yeah, I
was-
Yeah,
have
I was there
photographs
too.
of that, actually.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I'm going to have to get you one of those sooner or later.
I love your photographs, by the way, and they are. It's very rare you find people that both record history and make history, and you're one of those rare individuals. Both of you
Ooh.
are.
I like that. Thank you very
That's
much.
very-
Let's hear a round of applause for that.
Oh, that's very nice.
So
Very nice.
yes, I did perform with Pete and a cast of thousands at People's Church in 1999, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And that was when the People's Music Network gathering was held in Chicago. We hosted it. So Pete came. And a lot of us locals were part of it. I believe I performed with Peggy Lipschutz,
Yeah.
who may be listening to this right now. She's a young lass of 95.
She was also on this
She's been on
stage
the
with,
show.
with Ella Jenkins. They came together.
Okay.
It was a special morning for us.
That's
I
right,
wasn't
yes.
here for that one.
Yeah, I tuned into that one. I remember.
Yeah.
But Pete and Peggy cut their teeth together. They appeared over the decades for all kinds of social justice.
The both of them developed ways of teaching from the stage at the same time that you were entertaining and getting
Yes.
people involved. They would stick in ways of teaching history,
Mm-hmm.
ways of teaching what is the movement about right now in sentences, not paragraphs, not lectures. And then they'd break into song. I mean, to me, it was like the best version of all organizing I've ever
Exactly. They
experienced.
led from behind and with music.
Yeah.
And that's such a great
It's
combination.
so rich. What are you going to
Since-
play? I see you're gearing up here.
She's getting ready.
Yeah, I thought I better,
Yeah.
I also sing. So I thought I'd sing this song that was actually written by Melvina Reynolds, who was also a friend of mine and who I miss to this day.
Little boxes.
I was going to sing a song from Pete's early album about ecology. It came out in 1967 called God Bless the Grass.
Wow.
A number of songs that Pete introduced to people to think about environmental issues before anyone was much talking about them. And this is the title song of that album called God Bless the Grass. Oops. How did that happen? Sorry. Guitars don't like weather changes at all. Here we go. God Bless the Grass by Melvina Reynolds. God bless the grass that grows through cement. It's green and it's tender and it's easily bent. But after a while, it lifts up its head. For the grass it is living and the stone it is dead. And God bless the grass. God bless the grass that grows through the crack. They roll the concrete over it and try to set it back. The concrete grows tired of what it has to do. It breaks and it buckles and the grass grows through. And God bless the grass. God bless the truth that fights toward the sun.